The most dangerous toxic manager is not always the one who shouts. Sometimes it is the one who smiles in meetings, praises you in public, then slowly destroys your reputation behind closed doors. They do not attack you directly. They isolate you quietly. They question your attitude. They document your mistakes. They take your wins and magnify your failures. And by the time you realize what is happening, the story has already been written. You are not struggling. You are difficult. You are not asking questions. You are not a team player. You are not setting boundaries. You are showing attitude. This is how toxic managers survive, not always through open aggression, but through silent control. Sun Tzu said the greatest victory is winning without open battle, and that is exactly how toxic managers operate. They do not always need to defeat you in public. They only need to shape how others see you in private. Machiavelli understood this too. Power protects itself first, not truth, not fairness, not loyalty, itself. So if you are dealing with a toxic manager, stop walking into the situation like an honest employee expecting justice. Walk into it like a strategist, because your hard work will not save you if your reputation is being poisoned. Your loyalty will not save you if your manager sees you as a threat. And your truth will not save you if they control the room before you even enter it. These are the 7 dark rules for surviving toxic managers. Rule 1. Never fight them on their battlefield. A toxic manager wants you to confront them where they have the advantage. In a meeting, on a call, in front of people they influence, inside a performance review they control. That is their battlefield. Sun Tzu warned that strategy begins with choosing the ground before the fight begins. If you fight where your enemy is strongest, you have already made their job easier. So do not walk into emotional arguments. Do not try to prove your point when they control the narrative. Do not defend yourself with panic. Instead, move quietly. Document what happened. Save emails. Write summaries after verbal conversations. Keep records of tasks, deadlines, approvals, and changes. Because in a toxic workplace, memory is political. If you have no record, they can rewrite the story. Your first rule is simple. Never fight them where they are powerful. Prepare somewhere they cannot reach. Rule 2. Your reaction is their evidence. A toxic manager may not need you to fail. They only need you to react. One angry message, one frustrated sentence, one emotional outburst in a meeting. That is enough for them to say, "See, this person is difficult." This is where emotional control becomes survival. Carl Jung believed people often project their own hidden weakness onto others. A toxic manager may provoke you, insult you, corner you, and then act shocked when you finally respond. They create the fire, then blame you for the smoke. So your face must become controlled. Your voice must become steady. Your replies must become boring, factual, and impossible to weaponize. Do not give them drama. Do not give them visible fear. Do not give them the reaction they are fishing for. When they become emotional, you become procedural. When they become vague, you become specific. When they attack, you ask for clarity. Your calmness is not weakness. It is evidence control. Rule 3. Study their insecurity, but never absorb it. Every toxic manager has a pattern. Some attack anyone more competent than them. Some micromanage because they fear losing control. Some steal credit because they are terrified of becoming irrelevant. Some humiliate employees because they need someone beneath them to feel powerful. Jung would call this the shadow, the rejected hidden part of a person that comes out through projection. A toxic manager may call you arrogant because your competence threatens them. They may call you negative because you noticed a real problem. They may call you difficult because you stopped obeying silently. Do not absorb their labels too quickly. Study them. Ask yourself, what threatens this person? What image are they protecting? Who do they punish? Who do they flatter? What kind of employee makes them insecure? This does not excuse their behavior. It gives you a map. Because once you understand their insecurity, you can predict their next move. And prediction is protection. Rule 4. Never confuse politeness with safety. The most dangerous toxic managers are not always rude. Some are charming. They smile. They praise. They use soft language. They say, "We are all one team." Then they quietly remove your influence. Machiavelli understood that power often survives through appearance. People judge what they see. Very few notice what is happening underneath. In the office, this means your manager may praise you publicly and weaken you privately. They may say great work in the meeting, then question your reliability with leadership. They may act supportive while slowly reducing your visibility. So stop trusting tone. Watch behavior. Who gets credit? Who gets blamed? Who gets access? Who gets excluded? Who gets protected when things go wrong? A toxic manager's real character is not revealed by how they speak when everything is fine. It is revealed by what they do when power, blame, or credit is at stake. Politeness is not safety. Consistency is safety. Patterns are truth. Rule 5. Assume self-interest before fairness. This rule sounds dark because it is. Do not expect fairness from someone whose position depends on protecting their image. Schopenhauer had a deeply pessimistic view of human nature. He understood that people are often driven less by truth and more by ego, desire, fear, and survival. In a toxic workplace, this matters. Your manager may know you are right and still blame you. They may know you did the work and still take the credit. They may know the deadline was impossible and still make your performance the issue. Why? Because fairness is not always their goal. Self-protection is. So stop asking, how can they do this when they know the truth? That question will keep you stuck. A better question is, what are they protecting? Their image? Their authority? Their promotion? Their relationship with leadership? Their fear of being exposed? Once you understand the self-interest behind the behavior, you stop being shocked. And when you stop being shocked, you start thinking clearly. Rule 6. Do not become resentful. Become dangerous. A toxic manager wants to trap you in resentment, because resentment feels powerful, but usually makes you passive. You complain. You replay conversations. You imagine arguments. You wait for justice. But nothing changes. Nietzsche understood resentment as a poison that can make people weak while convincing them they are morally superior. That is the trap. If your toxic manager turns you into someone who only complains but never moves, they have already won. So use anger, but do not live inside it. Turn it into documentation. Turn it into skill. Turn it into networking. Turn it into a stronger resume. Turn it into options. The dark rule is this: never let them become the center of your life. Do not build your personality around hating them. Build leverage, because the employee with no options has to beg for fairness. The employee with options can choose timing. Your revenge is not an argument. Your revenge is becoming impossible to trap. Rule 7. Leave before they define you. There is a point where survival is no longer about staying. It is about escaping before the story becomes permanent. A toxic manager will often try to define you before you can defend yourself. Lazy, negative, difficult, not a team player, not leadership material. Once that story spreads, every action you take gets filtered through it. If you speak, you are defensive. If you stay silent, you are disengaged. If you work hard, you are trying too much. If you set boundaries, you have an attitude. That is when you need to think like both Sun Tzu and Machiavelli. Sun Tzu teaches timing, Machiavelli teaches power, and sometimes the most strategic move is not to win inside a poisoned room. It is to leave before the poison becomes your identity. Start preparing quietly. Update your resume. Build relationships outside your manager's control. Save proof of your work. Protect your reputation. Create options before you need them. Because the darkest truth is this: you do not survive every toxic manager by defeating them. Sometimes you survive by leaving with your name, confidence, and future still intact. So understand what these 7 rules are really teaching you. You are not trying to become toxic. You are trying to stop being easy to manipulate. That is the difference. A toxic manager wants access to your fear, your anger, your guilt, your confusion, your need to be liked. Because once they control your emotions, they control your behavior. Once they control your behavior, they control the story. And once they control the story, they control your future. So take the power back quietly. Do not react when they provoke you. Do not confess your strategy to people who benefit from your weakness. Do not trust smiles without patterns. Do not wait for fairness from people protecting their own image. Do not let resentment turn you into a prisoner. And most importantly, do not stay so long that their version of you becomes stronger than the truth. Machiavelli teaches you to understand power. Sun Tzu teaches you to choose the battlefield. Jung teaches you to see the shadow behind the behavior. Schopenhauer teaches you not to be shocked by self-interest. Nietzsche teaches you to transform pain into strength. This is how you survive. Not by shouting, not by begging, not by proving yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you, but by becoming calm, prepared, unreadable, and difficult to destroy. Because the employee who reacts can be framed. The employee who complains can be dismissed. But the employee who documents, observes, builds leverage, and moves at the right time becomes dangerous. So now tell me in the comments, which toxic manager is the most dangerous? The smiling manipulator, the insecure micromanager, the credit thief, or the one who slowly turns everyone against you while pretending to support you? And more importantly, which of these 7 dark rules do you need to start using right now?